A player on the Knicks posted on Twitter last night suggesting that a trade could be coming. We're going to break that down on today's show, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel because if the Knicks make a move, we make a video, and we are closing in on our goal of 84,000 subscribers. If you want free Knicks videos every single day, hit that sub button. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. And could a trade of Guerschon Yabusele be coming? The NBA trade deadline is right around the corner on February 5th, and I believe this roster could use a tune-up. Yabusele went on Twitter last night and made a cryptic post that kind of set Knicks Twitter ablaze, and understandably so. He wrote, "Whatever happens tomorrow, I'm extremely blessed to be in the position that I am today. Minor setback for a major comeback. That's my favorite. Love y'all," with a black heart, hashtag 777. And then his teammate, Mitchell Robinson, responded, said, what's this about, big dog? Look, I don't know what that post is about. I would think it's about a trade. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about it. The entire NBA has been talking about it as well. Will a Guerschon Yabusele trade happen? And maybe not even will. The question has become when. Because all signs point to the Knicks shopping him and there being interest for Yabusele for a couple of different teams. For whatever reason, Mike Brown, him being out of shape to start the year, playing basketball all summer long, I don't really care at this point to diagnose the reason that Yabusele hasn't worked out for the Knicks. The facts are, it just hasn't. And I thought this was going to be an amazing deal because he was really good for the Sixers last year, playing 27-plus minutes per game, giving you 11 points per game, shooting 38% from three. At times was kind of their offensive juggernaut when Joel Embiid went down. And I was like, you know what? The Knicks couldn't score off the bench last year, and Yabusele is going to come off the bench, and maybe he brings a scoring punch here. And then he completely fell off a cliff. He's playing a third of the amount of minutes he did last year, and he's not even averaging 3 points per game. And you see the numbers on screen. Like, whatever the reason is, I can't really pinpoint it except he's just not playing good basketball. And look, this isn't like something that is new to Yabusele. Like, remember, went to the Celtics, was out of the league for a couple of years, had to go overseas, played on Team France, dunked on LeBron. Then he was back in the NBA, and he had a heck of a year with the Sixers. And now this year he's not playing well at all. And then you point to the fact that the Knicks are pretty thin on trade assets, and he's the only one that has a tradable salary that could net you something positive on the return at $5 million. So you ask yourself, what can you get for Guerschon Yabusele? And that's when it gets a little bit sticky because I don't think there's any team knocking and especially beating down the door for the Knicks saying, yo, we want Yabu. We'll give you what you want. Just not happening at this point. A pretty disappointing offseason when you consider the biggest move the Knicks made when it comes to a financial standpoint was Yabusele, and you're not really getting anything in return for him when it comes to production on the court. Shout out to Stephen Bondi, who covers the New York Knicks. He put out this trade idea, saying the New York Knicks get Jose Alvarado and Yves Missi, the athletic big man from the New Orleans Pelicans, and a second-round pick, while the Pelicans would get Guerschon and Pacome Dadier. We have heard rumors that both Yabusele and Dadier are names that the New York Knicks are shopping across the association. Michael Scotto, who is an NBA insider for Hoops Hype, he tweeted out, he went on the Putback Ian Begley show with SNY, and he said, quote, "I did hear the Knicks were not only calling the Pelicans on Jose Alvarado, but also Yves Missi," and that is a name that we have mentioned a couple of times on this show. Let's just zoom out a little bit here. You look at this New York Knicks roster, and I ask the question, what move, what player, what skill set of a player do they need to add to increase their title chances? You're good at the starting point guard spot. Your starting lineup is fine. And I like Miles McBride as a guard off the bench. I think Landry Shamet, if he can stay healthy, he's a good 3-and-D guy off the bench. If Mitchell Robinson stays healthy, He is awesome to have off the bench. You got a good top 8. I think you could use another table setter at the point guard spot. I think at the wing or the 2, you could use another point of attack defender. You don't really have a backup power forward. That was supposed to be Yabusele. It's not working. So there are still places and areas on this roster you could improve in multiple different ways. And maybe the Knicks can find a way to make that happen. I think adding Alvarado, if that is a trade, the one that Bondi talked about, you had Alvarado, you had a scrappy point guard that can defend. He's from New York, plays with a chip on his shoulder. That could make some sense. And then you add Yves Missi as well. You get another center because you only really have Cat and Mitch. You don't really want Huck Porty playing in the playoffs. I think that is a trade that could make sense as well. Question becomes, what are you going to do after that? We'll dive into that in a second, but I want to let you know this New York Knicks sweatshirt, pullover, whatever you want to call it, major sale. Was $80. Now $40. 50% off. Only at this link, though. Chatsports.com/NYK sale. You got to go to this link. So get your sweatshirt right now. Could there be multiple trades coming for the New York Knicks? That is something that has kind of been floated out there by some people and some things that we are hearing as well. And unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because I'm a big fan of his when he is healthy, my biggest concern for him has always been his durability, is that Mitchell Robinson is definitely someone the Knicks could move at the trade deadline for one reason and one reason only. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. And the way that the Leon Rose Knicks operates are if you're going to be a free agent and there's a thought in their camp that you could leave, they're going to trade you and turn that expiring contract into a contract that's going to span into the next couple of years. That way they don't lose that salary, but most importantly, they don't lose a player for nothing. Look, I think Mitch is an X factor for this squad. When he enters the game, you have the rebound matchup heavily tilt in your favor. He is the league's best offensive rebounder at 7 foot, 240 pounds. He can block shots. He's finishing above the rim again this year. Looks like the lift is back as well. And let's say you do make that trade of Yabusele and Pacome and you get Alvarado and Yves Missi. Do you then maybe call up the Dallas Mavericks and say, we've got a guy in Mitchell Robinson who's making $11 million. You have Naji Marshall. We need another wing. Maybe you work a 3-team trade because you got Gafford and Lively. And then the Knicks leave the trade deadline with Yves Missi, Alvarado, and Naji Marshall. Just spitballing here, but I don't think that's the craziest thing in the world. This is a name that Big Nick Energy, shout out to my guys over there, extremely tapped in to what's going on inside the New York Knicks front office. They said he is a name the New York Knicks want to potentially add. I love Naji Marshall. I went to the Mavs and Warriors game last night. I think he dropped 30. He would be perfect for this team. Not the best shooter, but he's kind of like a Josh Hart, where he wins with effort, he wins with energy, grit, grind, all the time, can handle the rock, touch the paint, draw fouls, get to the lane, and spray to open shooters on the outside. The Knicks need another guy that can put pressure on the front of the rim to collapse the defense to get more shooters open. Because the only guy on this roster that could do that right now is Jalen Brunson. And if you only have one guy that can do that, it's going to be tough in the playoffs to win games. A Naji trade would be tricky due to his salary, but he's someone I absolutely am interested in. And I am not going to close the book on a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. I get it. People are tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about it as well. Make your damn mind up, Giannis. Do you want to be a Buck or not? Because 1 week you do, 1 week you don't. 1 week you're with your girlfriend, 1 week you're thinking about your ex. And the next week you're thinking about your future girlfriend. Do you want to be a Buck? I can tell you don't. Everyone can tell you don't. You want to win. You ain't winning in Milwaukee, my man. Shams today went on the Pat McAfee show saying the writing is on the wall. I still think there's a chance he gets traded. I thought he's going to get traded for months. He says it's the most toxic it's ever been in that Milwaukee Bucks locker room. If you can get Giannis, you do whatever it takes. Obviously, you hold on to Jalen Brunson, but all other 16 players that are on this roster, you can go. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. You pair Brunson and Giannis up, and then you figure out what the deal is after that. That would be my home run trade. I want someone like Naji Marshall on this team. What will Leon Rose do? Do they even make a trade? What do you think? You guys are tuned in. You guys are ball knowers. Sound off for me. Do the Knicks make a trade before the deadline on February 5th? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. We're going to continue to pump out these New York Knicks videos for the real ones out there because you guys show a lot of love. It's the least we could do. Appreciate y'all. If you haven't yet, give me a follow on social media. I post on Twitter and Instagram @MarshallGreen_.